David, wake up.
What's going on, guys? I just sat down with former NBA veteran Moe Ager. Was drafted by the Dallas Mavericks. So yeah, it was a really good one. So check it out. Peace. What's going on, guys? I have another one. I'm here with former NBA veteran Moe Ager. And he was drafted by Dallas Mavericks, and on to play with other teams in the NBA, and then went overseas as well too, right? So it should be a good one. He has some tips and advice for us on how to make it and so forth. So I guess my first question is, you kind of walk us through, your basketball career. I know you grew up in Detroit. Michigan has really good basketball down there. Just being around the
Yeah.
AAU circuit, watching the kids play. Everybody has really high IQ there. So I like their basketball down there. And how did that prepare you for college and so forth?
Man, I mean, outside of just playing in Detroit Public School League, the competition was always pretty up there. You know what I'm saying? Skill wise was always pretty top notch, but I think more importantly, what stood out the most was just the toughness. You know what I'm saying? The mental and physical toughness from some of the guys that come from Detroit. That prepared me for college more than just the IQ stuff. The basketball IQ stuff. That comes along with the territory, playing all the time, playing with some of the best players in the country, traveling. And having some great coaches as well. But ultimately, bro, playing in the neighborhood, man, playing in Detroit, West Side, having rivals, respectful rivals as well, man. Shout out to, my guys, Ricardo Billings, Deion Harris, Cecil Hood. Sheesh, man, the list goes on, man. I know I'm missing some people, but, it was always respectful rivals, man. These guys were always respectful in terms of just knowing that we were all great players, but we pushed each other, but once we got on the court, it was always, it was a war, it was a battle. And, I feel like that prepared, mentally, just having guys who pushed me to become greater. And hopefully I did the same for them. The Big Ten was a tough conference, but, the PSL was, it was a dangerous conference. So, that pretty much prepared us for the next level.
Yeah. So you went to Michigan State University. How was it there and being coached by Tom Izzo? I heard he coaches his players really, really hard.
Yeah, Michigan State, man, it was one of the best times of my life. It's I created a song called "Forever I'm a Spartan," and that's what I live by, bro. No matter where I'm at in the world, I'm pretty busy these days. I'm traveling and doing things, and just been traveling the world for the past 10 years or so. So, but Michigan State is always in my blood. It's always in my heart. Shout out to all of those guys. I think we got Grind Week that just passed. With all the alumni guys that go to Michigan State. And work with the recruits, football. All that stuff was amazing, man. I had a great time there as a professional. I mean, not professional, but yeah, damn near professional athlete. But as an athlete, but as a student, I tell people all the time, man. My time at Michigan State was just a well-rounded good time. I had a great time as a student, man. I really tapped in with the student body. Made a lot of good friends. And overall, I had an amazing college experience from basketball to the parties to late nights, chilling in the dorms, man. So Michigan State is something that I always hold dear to me. And playing for Coach Izzo, man, it was an honor, because for one, he's a legend. Two, he really cared about his guys improving as people, as student athletes, and I always respected that. So you would never hear me say anything bad about Coach Izzo. So I just try to keep it all the way in house with certain things, and I love my experience there, and I love what I became. And there's a lot of things that we could talk about on the negative side of things, but we're gonna keep it positive in this new world, man. Coach Izzo did a really good job in pushing me and becoming a great player, and salute to him for that.
Nice. And I realize, a lot of guys who go to, Michigan State, a lot of them are not one and done. They usually stay 3-4 years. Why is that?
And there's many factors that can go into that. There's guys that's good enough to leave after their first year, but sometimes, Coach Izzo, he has the gift of gab. He might, convince a guy to come back. And it happens often. Sometimes that can help a guy, and sometimes it can hurt a guy. I've seen both. I've seen where guys, could have stayed another year or two, and perhaps had a better professional career. I don't necessarily want to name any names right now, but and there's guys who left early, who made the right choice. And ultimately there's guys who stayed too long and it end
Yeah.
up hurting their draft status.
Yeah.
So I'm a firm believer, if you're a player and you feel like you got a great opportunity to, leave early and go, pursue your dreams. So let's be clear, man. We all want to make it to the NBA. College is great, but we always want to make it to the league. So if you have an opportunity to go to any school, you know what I'm saying? If you can leave after 1 year, do it.
Yep.
So, but once again, in college basketball, not just Michigan State, the longer you stay, the more you, I would say you pretty much expose yourself. Not to say that's a bad or good thing, but the more they see you, the less they have this idea in their mind for potential for you. So, you know, and the Big Ten is a very tough conference. If you're there for 2 or 3 years, those guys are going to scout you. You know what I'm saying? So eventually your weaknesses will start to show. So, if you can leave early, man, get up out of there, man.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Nice. And can you explain, for maybe, guys who are getting ready for the draft, let's say next year and so forth, explain that process between when you put your name in and day of draft.
Yeah, the process was simple for me. I almost left after my junior year. And Coach Izzo, he spoke to me. Gave me some good reasons to come back, and I'm glad I did. Not only for basketball, but just for my senior year. I had a blast my senior year. I had so much fun as a student, as an athlete, and I feel like it was great for me. But the process itself is, you get an agent. Once you sign with the agent, that's pretty much it. The agent takes from my experience, the agent puts your name in the draft. And then from that process, you start preparing yourself, working out. Me, I was doing maybe 2 to 3 workouts a day, um, 2 on the court, and one, in the weight room or something like that, some cardio. And at times I'll go back at night and get shots up. But the process itself was a lot different during that time. I think to this day I broke the record for the most NBA workouts, pre-draft workouts at 26. And I think
Wow.
maybe the year or two after that, they changed the rules. You know what I'm saying? They actually, pretty much put a minimum on workouts that players can have coming out of college. So, I had a strenuous process, man. I worked out for almost every team, some teams twice, and got drafted by the team that I didn't work out for. So, one thing I learned, man, less is more, because I believe that eventually, by me taking on so many workouts. And these was all suggestions from my agent at the time. I'm 22 years old. If I would have known better at that time, I would have been a lot more selective on the teams and all of the workouts that I took. But what happens is, once again, if you do 26 workout within a span of 2 months or so, eventually you're going to drop somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like at times, I would work out in Philly and then fly to Phoenix and work out the next morning. Of course, the quality of my workout wasn't going to be as good. So these are the things that they saw. They probably didn't see me at my best, although I felt like I did really well in workouts. But it's something about expanding or just extending yourself too much where it might turn people off. That's not only in basketball, but just just in the minds of these general managers and stuff. It's like working out for everybody is almost like I depleted my value, which was kind of like looking back, man. It wasn't the smartest thing to do considering I played at Michigan State. I was on TV 2 times a week. They saw a lot of them, you know what I'm saying? So, my process was different. So, it's a lot different now, but, that's what I went through. My advice to players now is to, less is more, baby. You know what I'm saying? Know your value, know your worth.
Then you got drafted in '06 by Dallas Mavericks. How was that night like for you?
Man, it was a very emotional night. Very emotional, very anxious night. Just imagine, 20 plus years of, or I don't want to say 20 years, maybe 15 or so years of having a dream and it finally coming to life and being drafted in the late first round, not knowing what's going to happen. All of the sleepless nights, all of the nights in the gym, all of the time that I put in, working on my game, talking to coaches, doing the extra work. waking up, or all of that stuff kind of just comes to the forefront, on a night like that. So it was very emotional. So I was very excited to go shake David Stern's hand. You know what I'm saying? That was a dream come true. I did that, and that's something I can always hold my hat up. You know what I'm saying? Because it's something I accomplished, man. It's something that many people wish to accomplish, and I'm happy. That day we had a good time, partied a lot, and yeah. Flew out to Dallas the next morning, hungover.
Cool. And I like to ask my guest this particular question. How has your faith helped you succeed in life?
Yeah, faith is everything. I'm at a stage in my life now where it's like it's a knowing now. Faith is very, very important. Don't get me wrong, but I'm at a stage in my life where I know that my faith is the liaison between anything that happens in my world today. So it's more of a certainty. You dig? And the faith itself is just making the steps. The faith itself is making the choices that might not feel like the most comfortable choices. Having enough faith to like, you know what, I'm gonna go outside my comfort zone to grow. You know what, I'm going to leave America to move to Asia to see if I can actually continue to expand on my journey in my life. That's faith to me, making the choices where you really don't know, but the knowing yourself is for me is to know that if I do make these leaps of faith, I ain't got no choice but to win, even if it does appear to be a bit shaky at first. I made a choice on faith. It got to happen one way or another. And, and then you combine that with some patience. And then, ultimately continue to, study your spirit, study yourself, keep that divine relationship open, and work on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Self-work is the main work. You know what I'm saying? Meditating, praying, studying, doing research, maybe get some history about yourself. You know what I'm saying? And, those things will create more of a solid knowing versus just, I always say, blind faith.
Okay. And I'm not sure. Were you around when the Dallas was facing Miami Heat in the finals, or you were there the next year?
Yeah, I came the next year. Yeah, I was actually, I was still in college. So yeah, I got drafted a year after that. And yeah, we had a great year after that. We had the best record in the league and the seventh best NBA record in history. So I played on the team that won, say 67 games. So that's like the seventh tie for the seventh best record in NBA history. So boom, I was on that team. Let's get it.
How was it playing with Dirk Nowitzki?
And it was a pleasure. Dirk was a good guy, funny dude. You know what I'm saying? He worked really hard. His work ethic was second to none. He did work before the games, after the games. You know what I'm saying? He would be down there with his shooting coach. But other than that, man, he was just a great guy, man. A great superstar, humble, cracked a lot of jokes. He was a pleasant person to be around. You know what I'm saying? So I had a lot of roast sessions with him. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I never thought that, you'll meet a guy like Dirk, a superstar from Germany who can roast. You know what I'm saying? And it was pretty cool, man. So, Dirk, he was one of those guys who was very honest, and it was good to watch him. Especially his work ethic.
Okay. And then you went on to New Jersey, Minnesota. Played about 4 years in the league, and then you went to overseas. I want to ask, what can make a player stick in the league? What do they need to have a long playing years in the league?
The number one thing is to prepare yourself for the politics. Especially if you're not a superstar player. If you're a borderline guy, a role player, you have to be able to play the politics game. That's something that I just wasn't necessarily, let's say, equipped for, or I would say that I just didn't have the heart or the interest in playing those type of games. I just wasn't really, especially in my 20s. Like I wasn't dealing with none of that politics and shit. So I was cool on it. But if you're a player who can play the politics and be in that type of arena and be okay with that, you're going to need that. You dig what I'm saying? Because it's very political. very political, very political. And outside of that, man, you just got to work really hard. You got to work your ass off. You got to be one of those guys who's in the gym before, after practice, watching film. You know, constantly working on your body. Staying off the streets. It's a lot of things that goes with it. Because not everybody's going to be a superstar. But if you're going to be a guy who played 10, 12 years, for one, you got to be able to, play the game. If you're one of those guys who's okay with playing a political game, yeah, it's for you. You can be okay. Like I said, I struggled with it, and ultimately, you got to be a great teammate. You have to be a great teammate. And that's a part of the politics, but ultimately that's just being a good person, being a good locker room guy, being a good role model, adding value to the team. Things that, superstars might not necessarily, I would say you got to do things that, other people aren't doing, as a role player to stick around in that league. Yeah, I think those are the main things. You just got to work your ass off, man, and have faith.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So when you say political, what do you mean exactly? That certain guys are gonna have certain minutes no matter what you do as a role player?
You got to be okay with knowing that, hey, you just bust superstars. You just went crazy in practice, basically. You killing in practice, you doing your thing, and you still not getting no minutes. You know what I'm saying? You got to be okay with being able to kiss up to people and kiss ass a little bit. You got to be okay with, going an extra mile at, hey, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of, I'm not saying be fake or nothing like that, but you got to be like kind of a yes man to a certain degree. I use an example. Jared Dudley is a perfect example. Good player, was a good shooter, but he's a guy who played the game. He made sure that he was, let's just say, he did a good job with the management, and he played the game. You did what I'm saying. I wasn't willing to play the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you kind of got to be one of those guys who okay with just kind of being,
I understand.
I think you get what I'm saying, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a great mood today, man. I'm positive. You catch me on a different day, I might be a little bit more ghetto, but today, I'm keeping it all the way politically correct. You can read between the lines, man. Y'all know what it is, bro.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, my next question is: I know you're a Grammy music producer. Tell us about that.
Yeah, man, music is in my blood, bro. It's something that I love. It's my passion. It's the creative side of me. It's the balance side of me. You got sports, but for me, it's good that I have something creative too. So I was blessed to move out to LA, make some music, make some good friends, and had the opportunity to get nominated for a Grammy for a song that I created with some buddies. Out of fun and love, and I'm grateful for it because it's just another stamp. It's something that I can say that I did in this world, and I'm still doing music to this day. Music is a part of my life, even if I'm taking a break from it. But I'm grateful for it, man, and that's the main thing for me. Just being grateful for the opportunities, being grateful for the skills, and being grateful to be able to do it. And have enough heart and bravery to do it. It takes bravery to step out and do things where people tell you that you shouldn't be doing because you should be doing this. You know what I mean? I don't live for that, bro. I live for, freedom of expression any way you choose to do it. And you might not agree with it. You might agree with it, but when it's all said and done, I'm just happy to be able to do me.
Mm-hmm. You have a program called Hoop School, and it's all over the world. And what exactly you do with the kids or players?
Yeah. It's the Moe Ager Hoop School, man. We established that in 2013. It's a basketball enrichment program, man. We use it to help kids, not only better them skills, but inspire them to be great within, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. And hopefully, they can go on and do great things, man. I got a message earlier this morning from a kid that we did a camp for. We did a camp in Long Beach. I did a scholarship for him. This is 2014. I gave him a free scholarship to the school for my trainings and stuff like that. And he hit me back today, like, yo, I'm about to graduate from high school, man, and I'm doing well, and I still appreciate that. I'm gonna post that on Instagram so people can see that type of light, that type of positivity when you're doing great things for other people, especially the youth. That moved me because it really helps me, solidify my purpose in this world. To help young people, to help young adults, to just to help humans. You know what I'm saying, on this journey of life, because It's a very confusing journey at times. It's a deceiving journey at times. So if I can share light with people and help them discover who they are, so they can go on their path and their purpose, that's what I'm here to do. And that's what I use basketball for. Basketball itself is a great tool. It's a great platform to do the real work, which is to help people become who they are and know who they are and be who they are and do what they need to do in this world.
Okay. Okay. And I know you're doing it all over the world. What made you do it all over the world? Why not just, let's say, only America?
Yeah, because I'm universal, bro. I'm a universal being, bro. You know what I'm saying? I did America. I did plenty of cities in America. North, you know what I'm saying? Canada, Bahamas. We done been to Asia, China, Thailand, Saudi Arabia, Middle East, Egypt, Africa. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm here on this earth. I'm on this planet to move around. You know what I'm saying? Why not share my light all over the world? You know what I'm saying? Why not be legendary and move around with it? You did, and not be in one place at one time and just be able to, plant my seed all over the world. I think that's a blessing, and I'm grateful to do that. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I'm giving it up, especially with this hoop thing. You know what I'm saying? Basketball is taking me all over the world. So I use it to like I said earlier, to share light all over the world. You know, Shout out to all my people that's in Detroit doing their thing, but they got Detroit. Shout out to my people in LA doing their thing. They got LA. God is using me to go around the world with this basketball thing. He did. And yeah, and that's how we moving with it. Yeah. Moe Ager Hoop School, bro. We everywhere, dog.
Nice, nice. Where's home now? Where's home for you now?
Home is where the heart is, my boy. Home is where the heart is, bro.
Okay, okay. Because I
I'm
heard, I heard,
everywhere,
I
bro.
heard, I heard, I heard, I heard you're living in Vietnam. That's why I asked.
Nah,
Okay.
I don't live in Vietnam no more. I moved from Vietnam in July. I'm not going to disclose my whereabouts right now, but I'm
Yeah,
traveling a lot. I'm moving
yeah.
around, man. Taiwan, China, different places, man. I'm everywhere, bro. You know what I'm saying? So,
Okay.
when I'm ready to like tell people exactly where I'm at, I will. But right now, man, I'm just happy to be, just in my purpose. You know what I mean? And expanding on my purpose and focusing on something that I feel like I can be the best example. I can be the best light, and that's the main thing. Sometimes in life, it's a lot of things we want to do. That don't mean that everything that we want to do is going to happen when you want it. So right now, I'm just focusing on this basketball thing. Everybody know that I'm a very creative person. I got clothing lines, I got skateboard lines, I got shoe lines, I got books, I got my website www.moeagershop.shop. Visit there. You know what I'm saying? We got bomber jackets. You know what I'm saying? I got everything, designs, man. I'm doing my thing. But I chose to kind of put that on hold and then focus on his basketball right now. You know what I'm saying? And allow the fruits of that to flourish when it's supposed to. So yeah, man. But still, man, y'all can still go shop though. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm just living life, man. Tomorrow ain't promised. And, doing the best I can to allow all my skills and my talents to shine in this one lifetime.
Yeah, yeah. That's all I got for today. Anything else you want to add?
Nah, man, go ahead, just shop Moe Ager dot shop. Got fire bomber jackets. I got the cartoon swagger nights. Fire. Follow my YouTube, Moe Ager Show, Moe Ager Show. You know what I'm saying? I got music on there. We got Swagger Nights cartoon, which is hilarious, but it's still conscious. Um, yeah, follow my Instagram, Moeager. Stay tapped in, man. We
All right.
working.
All right.
I think that's
All
all I
right.
got, Brody. Oh yeah, I got some books out too. I wrote 4 books this year. I got Me, Myself, and I. How I Use My Imagination to Make It to the NBA. That's helping young people around the world. I got another book called American Basketball in Vietnam, which was dedicated to Vietnam, but it can be used for anybody around the world because it's still hoops, baby. Um, I got the Baby Fat Water Story Manual to teach you how to take good care of your stomach. You know what I'm saying? Good stomach health is very important. Detox is a daily detox maintenance for the stomach. And I got school shoes, which is a children's book. It's out right now. It's 9 stories basically. It's a short read. To help kids, inspire them, and keep them going in life. School of life that is. It's called School Shoes, man. Got the clothing line with that too, bro. So yeah, bro, we getting it off, we getting it in, and once again, man, all of everything that I do, it was based off of a decision, which is the faith to do it. Now it's allowing the Most High, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, to bring these things to life properly. And I thank you so much for giving me a platform to be able to speak about these things. And hopefully, people cop some shoes.
Yeah, for sure. Last thing, you said you had a book on how you got to the how your imagination got you to the NBA. Can you talk about that real quick?
Yeah. It's a DIY book, do it yourself. I have countless drills in there that I did growing up, that I did alone, that you can do by yourself. You don't need a trainer. You don't need a coach. All you need is a basketball, a hoop, sometimes just a park bench, and your imagination. Boom. And that's how I made it to the NBA. I credit all of those days just working on my game by myself, imagining myself playing in the NBA, imagining myself hitting big free throws to win the game, imagining myself in college hitting the big shots to win games, imagining myself in the Final Four. So meditation was huge, even as a child. And in the book, I'm teaching people how to meditate, and I'm tying in basketball with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm using basketball metaphors to help people align their minds and their heart in order to be whatever they want to be in life. Not only basketball. I mean, if regular people read the book too. They're getting something out of it just because it's really a spiritual book. You know what I'm saying? I've always wanted to write a book on spirituality and how it's connected to sports, and this is the one.
All right. All right. Thank you. There you have it. All right. Thank you so much. All
All right,
right.
man. I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
Easy.